send this place up. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm coming back at you with another photography video. But because we're all still stuck in isolation, I refuse to let your Instagram go down the drain. I won't let it happen. We've got to keep that game up, right? We've got to keep that Instagram popping. So I thought I'd make another video of some more creative photo ideas that you can do whilst you're still stuck in isolation at home. I mean, we've leveled up. We've leveled up from last time. Last time was just a drop in the ocean. That was just a little sprinkle. That was a little spritz of what's to come. This is a whole tsunami of creativity. Just you watch. Before we get into it, guys, I want to make sure that if you are enjoying these type of videos, then make sure you subscribe down below and leave a like to tell me that you're enjoying this type of content. We're just going to dive straight into this video with no messing around. In there like swimwear. Let's go. Right, so straight into the first idea. You've probably seen this idea blimbering? Is that a word? You've probably seen this idea floating around the TikTok sphere. I'm a poet. Basically, it's as simple as taking a mirror, putting it in your garden, and taking a photo. Who'd have thought? If you have sort of like a minimalistic vibe on your Instagram, then you are gonna wanna do this. To do this, all I did was just take my mirror from my bedroom and as I say, I just chucked it outside in my garden and I watched the magic happen, I really did. This idea is actually harder than it looks, and I'll tell you for why. To get the lighting exactly right is next to a nightmare. It's hard. The whole idea is that you need to have your mirror here, the sun here, and you in the middle, so that the sun is reflecting onto the mirror and back onto you. In the UK right now, the weather's been a bit mixed. It's had a bit mixed emotions. It's not been very consistent, and that's made this shoot quite difficult to do. So as you can see, I'm literally just setting up the mirror. I'm wearing just a plain white jumper. I did actually take a few shots with a different outfit on, just to kind of mix things up. I didn't want it to look like I'd literally just taken a mirror and put it in my garden. I decided to prop the mirror up for some of the shots, see how that worked. Didn't really turn out very well because my mirror is kind of like bent, so I just looked like a string bean. So here are the photos from the first shoot. I really like these photos. If you can get the lighting right, you can literally trick the world into thinking that you've got the most chiseled jawline. I think I prefer the beige outfit purely because I think they just work a bit more cohesively, in my opinion, that it almost looks a bit like a skin tone. I really like these shots. Like, am I blown away? I feel like I could have done better. Also, if you do try any of these ideas out at home, make sure you tag my Instagram, which is @wj.candelent, so I can see what you've come up with. The second photo shoot is very, very, very simple, but probably the most effective thing I've done in my whole life. I was lucky enough to collaborate with a brand called Midnight City, who gifted me a couple of items from their range. So I got sent a custom necklace, which is a W in a sort of gothic font, which I really, really enjoy. I think it's kind of cool. Like, imagine. They also sent me a ring, which is basically the same thing, same sort of font. I'm not like being paid to say this, but like the quality of the products are actually insane. I'll leave their Instagram in the description box below so you can check them out. So anyway, to do this shoot, all you need is a garage, a camera, and a tripod, and some good lighting, preferably. The day I shot this was kind of one of those cloudy, sun was breaking through moments. Like, can you make up your mind? Are you gonna be Swansea or are you gonna be Ibiza? Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to know. The good thing about this setup is that the garage is actually bright white. So as soon as the sun comes out and hits on that, you're looking at a fire shot. I decided to wear a full black outfit for this shoot just because I wanted to contrast quite heavily with the whites in the background and make sure that the products actually pop. The difficulty with this shoot was to make sure that the lighting hit the jewelry at just the right moment so it brought out the highlights, because otherwise it could have got lost in the shadows of what I was wearing. Like all of my shoots, I set my camera up on a timer and away we went. Did some cool poses, live my best life. In this shoot, I really wanted to try and create some really interesting shapes with my body, some cool movements to make these shots 10 times more interesting than they would be. So as you can see me pose in a way, and if you guys want a video on how to pose for photos, then please let me know in the comments below and I will try and get around to filming something like that. Loads of people were walking past the garage as I was doing it, and I was like, this is embarrassing, isn't it? I'm here looking like America's Next Top Model and so here are the final shots from this shoot. I have outdone myself, I really have. The skin tones on, it's making me feel uneasy. It's making me feel, don't know what to do with myself. I look like I've just covered myself in a bottle of Bondi Sands. Do you know what I mean? The good thing about a shoot like this is that you heavily rely on sunlight, and as soon as you get that short burst of sunlight, you need to get that camera on and get shooting. Because of the really harsh sunlight, I was able to capture all of my freckles on my face. I think you see every single one of them. And that's something that people do tend to shy away from when they're shooting their photos. They tend to like retouch all their freckles out, but actually I'm not being funny. Freckles are cool. If you don't think freckles are cool, then you need to have a reality check, my friend. I've got some feedback from the company and they really like the shots as well, so all round, everyone's happy. For the third shoot, I decided to get back outside and we have got an apple tree in our garden. I mean, it's great. And with an apple tree, what happens before is that you get some sort of blossom. Blossom trees are honest. Oh my God. Honestly, I feel, oh my God. What is happening to me? I am obsessed with blossom. Blossom trees, blossom petals, I don't know. Everything about blossom I love. So what I wanted to do was take myself out to the blossom tree and basically just lie underneath it and wait for the sun to come out. I waited for quite a while actually. My hay fever was going nuts. I feel like flowers are such a point of interest in lots of photos. It can really boost up a portrait and just make your feed look nice and pretty and So for this shoot, I wanted to wear something quite neutral, so I chucked on a white high neck jumper from New Look Man. I mounted my camera on top of a tripod and pointed it down so it was overlooking my face. I wanted this shoot to be quite close up. I didn't really want it to be massively focused on my outfit, but I kind of just wanted it to be like a chilled out, relaxed, springtime sort of, I don't know, easy going vibe. And I think that's what we achieved. So here are the photos from the third shoot. I think it's gone past the point of like Instagram worthy photos. Like I actually just like these portraits. I might make it my lock screen on my phone. I love the distribution of petals around me. I think it just adds a really cool little springtime vibe to the shot. And it also kind of spreads the area of interest across the whole frame as opposed to just on my face. I wanted to play around with the petals a little bit and actually put some on my face, almost like it's kind of fallen on me. And I also played around with a little bit of editing. I'm blurring out some falling petals. Again, the colors are quite neutral. They're pretty low-key pastel kind of vibes. I didn't want it to be that in your face because it's quite a delicate looking shoot. And I mean, I've not got the most delicate face. I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, look at it. It's hard as nails, this guy. And moving on to the final shoot. Now, this was the biggest fluke of my whole life. I don't really know where the idea came from. People might have done this before, like in fact they probably have, because I think at this point everybody's done everything in lockdown and isolation. But I just thought, I'm really obsessed with double exposure photography. Now, if you haven't seen anything like it, then it will change your life. Like, it's just cool. Like, it's just very cool. And if it's done well, it looks sick. It's a really cool effect, which is quite simple to do, but you have to get the right subject, the right light, and the right overlay to make the whole image look pretty cohesive. The whole process involves a little bit of editing and a little bit of skill on Photoshop, and I just wanted to try something that was a little bit more simple and see if we could create the same look with just a window pane. So I was literally the other day, I just stuck my phone out the window and was taking selfies through the window. As you can see here, that is literally what I'm doing. In front of my window there's a couple of bushes, a massive tree, and I wanted to see how that would work when I moved the camera up and down and see it reflecting on my face. I tried to do this with my DSLR, but I found it very difficult because the reflection and the focus was just an absolute nightmare to do on my own. So I resorted to using my iPhone XS, and I think the outcome of the photos were just as good, if not better. It was a little bit dangerous. I experimented with different windows in my house, some low, some high. The higher ones kind of freaked me out because I convinced myself that I was going to drop my phone, and I'm actually surprised I didn't, because that's something that I would definitely do. This whole shoot is definitely down for experimentation. Like, it depends on what you've got in front of your window, but also depends on the angle that you're shooting at to get the desired effect. The initial images didn't really look like much, so it took quite a bit of editing to make them actually pop. But once the edits are done, these are what the photos looked like. And I hate to say it, I've outdone myself yet again. As I say, I'm obsessed with double exposure, so this is kind of right up my street. I think the contrast in these photos give it quite a cinematic feel, alongside the kind of colour tones that I've applied to the photos to really make the images pop. And these images kind of tell a story. I feel like, without getting too deep, we're all in isolation at the moment, feeling a little bit trapped behind glass, behind walls, in your house. So to me, I interpret these photos as kind of feeling a little bit trapped in isolation, I suppose. I think these turned out really well, and I'm super, super happy with the overall effect. It turned out 10 times better than I thought it was ever going to. Like, and they are all of the shoots. I am super, super, super happy with how all of these turned out. I didn't think half of them were going to turn out as good as they did. Just didn't believe in myself, did I? If you haven't watched my other photography video, then make sure you do. The link is in the description box below. And if you do like this type of content, make sure you subscribe for more videos and like this video down below so I can keep making more. All of my social media links are down below as well, guys. Check out my Instagram because you will see these photos making an appearance very soon. And as I say, if you do try any of these photos out, then make sure you tag me on Instagram. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you very soon for another video. Peace.